Good morning, everybody. It is a 26-degree morning out here in rural Pennsylvania, which is just fine by me. I've been riding through the season thus far, like I've done the last couple winters since I really got back into mountain biking. And I just got done putting yet another plug in my tubeless tires. I think that makes six total. They're the stock Bontrager, however you pronounce it, tires that came on the Remedy 8 27.5 wheels. So it's time to switch them out, I think. So I was looking around at my options, and I'm switching over to a cross country tire in the spring for racing. I'm gonna use the Maxxis Ardents and see how they do. But for the winter, I need something with a little more aggressive tread, and I'm really not too concerned about the weight, just because it's recreational riding. I'm not worried about being weighed down or anything like that. My dad bod already does most of the weighing me down, so it's no big deal. So anyway, I looked around online, and I don't know, something caught my eye. It's probably not the best tire for sale out there, but they got some okay reviews, and I like the color. Kind of goes with the color scheme on my bikes. So what I did, I went with the Versus tires. They have a very similar tread to the ones that are on there already. Pretty aggressive on the corners, which is nice. Especially, I do a lot of, I'll ride in the snow, ice, frost, whatever. And they're 27.5 by 2.4. I got the pair for, I think it was 180 with free shipping. And we're going to do a little review and see how they look and feel on the bike. All right, I have one tire on the scale here, and we're looking at 2 3/16 pounds. That translates to 992 grams, plus about 60 grams for 2 ounces of tire sealant. So the what they list on the website is 1050 is accurate. Now, some of y'all might wonder what the lollipop's about. It's actually because they sent me a lollipop in the package with the tires. They also included some cool stickers, and there's a couple different models here. I'm gonna take this lollipop out of my mouth. And if I end up dying of strange circumstances or poisoning, you guys know what happened, but I doubt that's the case. Anyway, so these tires, there's a couple different color schemes they come in. They come in the teal or turquoise, and then a pink you can get. And then they have one that's like a marbleized. It's black with either turquoise or pink. I think they have yellow as well, marbling through it. I opted for these. I think they're going to look cool because my factory paint has sort of a OD green and like light turquoise scheme on it. Anyway, there's a couple different casings. They have the gravity casings and the trail casings. The gravity casings are more downhill enduro from what I understand. And the trail casing is a thinner, lighter wall tire. So, but I think that'll do good for I do a lot of kind of cross country with some enduro stuff thrown in. I like to go fast on downhills. But we'll get them on the bike and we'll trail test them. All right, so they're all mounted up. Here's the finished product. Big props to my buddies Troy and Gavin. At 14 years old, Gavin is the best bike mechanic I know. And he got this thing, a full tune-up for me. And these things look awesome. Just the aesthetics great. Now, compared tread-wise to what was on there, you can see the pattern's pretty similar. This is definitely a softer rubber than this. So with winter riding with slippery stuff, I might have to air it down a little bit. But we're going to get it on the trails and see how it does. So one thing I will say about these, because I haven't tested them yet, but aesthetically, they're very pleasing to the eye. They have some cool multicolored artwork, some motivational phrases. They also have this really cool ribbing, and it's pretty protrusive. You can feel it. Just these little notches here, which I'm not sure about the ribbing and the whether it'll help with sidewall traction if you're going through deep stuff or anything where your sidewall's touching, or if it's for protection. I'm not sure why they put it on there, but these things look super cool. And just to give you an idea of the curvature, about the same as the XR5s that were on here before. Some good aggressive corner knobs. And but like I said, they are definitely, especially since they've been in the garage overnight in the freezing, they're pretty firm. But with the high center section and the firmness, definitely going to be picking up some speed, which I love. Not sure how it's going to do on the slippery stuff, but time will tell. Woo! All right, so first ride after action report. Just got off the trails, and yeah, they're decent tires. So I would say, and let me just give a full disclaimer, this is the third set of tires in probably the 8 years of riding I've done. So I don't go through tires. I don't try a lot of different tires. I don't know that much about tires. I just know that I ride a lot and know what works and what doesn't. So, you know, I may not be the voice of expertise in this category, but I'm just going to try my best here. So, and I'm going to compare them to the Bontrager XR5s that were on here before. So, like I said, shape-wise, similar tire. The hardness, I was a little concerned. I'm 227 pounds. I was running 25 PSI today with these, first day on the trail, so I'm probably down to like 20 now that everything's breaking in and getting settled. Yeah, they're, I feel like the hardness, I didn't have any like real issues. I didn't slide out on anything I shouldn't have. I kept my traction. Everything felt good. I usually typically run a little higher PSI. I'm in like the 35 range because I'm an old BMX guy. Like I like to pump stuff real hard, and definitely 25 PSI when I'm pumping, I feel like I'm bogging down. Trail conditions today, it's about 40 degrees right now. We started at about 34 degrees. Trails are pretty soggy, so I was going through a lot of soft stuff today. And some wet roots and stuff, and they really, even with the harder wheel, held their own as far as grip, which is great. And the hardness also, when you're on rougher stuff, it's not a big deal, but it is a little noisier. I noticed that for sure. But I'm not gonna make this my final yay or nay review. This is the first of many rides. I'm going to probably not post for another month or two. I want to get really into the cold weather, various dry, wet, snow, all that fun stuff, and really kind of give a comprehensive review. A concern I do have with the harder rubbers, I've had, I know my daughter had a bike with pretty hard, cheaper tires, that are real stiff rubber, and they actually cracked in the cold weather. So I want to make sure that we don't have that problem when we get into the 10s and 20s riding. So I'm gonna keep posting and keep taping, and give you guys my comprehensive review at the end. turn. Oh yeah. I slide the back end around a little bit. There's 83 down there. Don't want to fall off that hill. Go-whoop-de-doo.
Ah, right over it. Hello, Interstate. With that chunky stuff right in the center. Some chunk right over it, no problems. Digging it. Get through this rock garden here. A little climbing action. See how we do across this root section. All right, guys, day 2 review, second day riding, and some good news for all of you who thought these tires were really cool but were kind of disappointed with my meh review of the first day riding them. Some good news. So first off, let me just say the reason I make these videos over a longer period of time, and I get some criticism that my friends tell me, like, oh, your videos are too long and you repeat yourself a lot and the editing quality is not very good. And I mean, I'm not like a professional YouTuber and I just kind of do this for fun, but you know, most of the time I'd prefer to spend my time with my kids or out riding or coaching NICA or teaching martial arts and any of the other stuff I do than sitting home editing videos. So I just kind of throw them together and do it as I go. I do it over a long period of time because opinions can change and things can break and malfunction and whatever else. So, got icicles in my beard. Anyway, it's started the day. It was, I think, 24 degrees at 1 o'clock in the afternoon when I dropped in on the trail. Got down to the teens last night, so most of the terrain here, I'm at Lake Redmond out in Pennsylvania, York County, and most of the trails were frozen solid and dry with a couple spots of snow and ice, so really prime time terrain if you like going fast, and you really gotta watch your traction on these things. So I got home after my ride the last time I rode and filmed, and I checked my PSIs, and I was 10 PSI in the front and 15 in the rear, so I dropped from 25 PSI starting to that, and that's most likely just because the tires breaking in, expanding, and the sealant kind of getting in all the cracks and crevices and sealing everything up. I sprayed a little soapy water over both of them after I pumped them up today, and I didn't see any bubbles or anything, so I think we're okay. I'll add to the video if I find any defects or something's very wrong. Anyway, so I went a little higher. I was feeling the last time I rode, especially on the corners and stuff, was feeling kind of unsupported and a little loose. And now I know why with the lower PSI and my larger weight and the way I take corners. I was, just basically folding the tire. So that, and the reason it felt so squishy when I compressed was the same thing, the lower PSIs. So I went up to 30 PSI today, which I usually go like 30 to 35. That's ideal for me. I kind of learned the reason I probably had 6 plugs to begin with was because with the higher PSIs, I'm more prone to puncture because I'm also fat and pumping down real hard over sharp rocks and stuff. Anyway, so today went out, did I think a little over 16 miles, and that's the other thing. Like this review is for an all-terrain tire. So I know I just show like videos of me like maybe like jumping off stuff or going fast down hills, but I'm a cross-country rider as well. So an all-terrain tire to me is something that does at least okay in any situation, whether it's cross country, enduro, rain, shine, snow, warm, cold, whatever you have. So something you can ride year round and get through everything at least okay. So that's like your mark of like a good, all mountain tire. So that's what I'm going for here. And I'm sure you guys get bored as hell seeing me do long hill climbs, but the last time I rode with my first section of review, I think we did like 18 miles, about 2,000 feet of climb. So I'm doing cross country stuff with this too. So anyway, these tires killed it today, absolutely killed it. And I felt totally supported, very sure-footed in all the turns. Going over a lot of like loose leaves and stuff too, a lot of rocks, and even through some just like some creek crossings and wet stuff. Everything felt great, and I'm really happy to say that because I really wanted to like these tires, and now I actually really do. And they are fast, even with a little bit of extra weights. It's not bogging me down at all. They are fast tires. So and I did a little reading on their website and stuff, and it seems like they're totally aware of their harder rubber, and they do that for a reason, for the so you can roll faster. And they make some cool design stuff to sort of make up for that and make it grip harder on the turns and cornering and stuff. So one thing they do, I'm assuming what they're talking about are these things, these notches here that kind of look like a 80s R&B haircut. And what they're supposed to do is, as you're cornering, they actually grip and turn the knob a little bit to actually, give you even more grip. So yeah, I'm pretty freaking impressed. I had a really good day riding today, a lot of fun with these tires. Got 2 compliments from other hikers on the trail. Anyway, so I'm gonna do a lot of riding. I'll probably report back. I'd like to do a snow ride in these, and something in the 0 to 10 degree range, and kind of see how things do. But I'm feeling really good about this right now. I'm glad to report that they did a lot better than I thought they would today. I'm actually enjoying them now that I'm really getting a feel for them. So again, with my weight and my style, you have to play with the pressures and what works for you. But I think I found the sweet spot, and looking forward to the next ride with these. As far as my my overall setup goes, it's basically a stock Remedy 8. It's got stock suspension, obviously the new tires I'm doing this review on. The PSI and the shocks, my buddy Gavin, we tuned it, went on Trek's website and pumped them up to what they're supposed to be for my weight and this bike. So everything's basically bone stock, except some Shimano SPD pedals. I'm obviously clipless, and so I especially riding clipless, you want to be a lot more sure-footed in the turns, because you don't have that luxury of flat pedals, be able to kick your foot out when you need to. And always my reminder to zip that so I don't lose my key again. Well, Houston, we have a problem. Was out riding Michaud State Forest today, relatively rocky trail, but nothing super crazy, and have a pinch tear on the sidewall right where it meets the rim. It's actually, I don't know if you can tell by the video, the tire is actually deformed. It's ballooned out right here, and leaking air. I had to hike off the trail. So kind of concerning with less than 100 miles on the tire, and I wasn't doing anything super crazy. I'm going to contact them about the warranty. I'm out of the warranty because I'm beyond the 30-day period, but we'll see how they do and how they respond. Yep, got the tire off, and you can see that's where she blew out. Okay, so this is actually pretty cool. I sent them an email saying that I had a low mileage tire that had a catastrophic failure, and I didn't believe it was user error. Although watching my buddy's GoPro footage of our ride, it wasn't anything like obvious, but we were going pretty hard down some pretty rocky terrain. So, I'd say for any kind of riding you're going to be doing, if you do any kind of like hard, even close to enduro riding, I'd say go with the gravity casing that they offer with a thicker sidewall, and that probably would have solved this problem. But anyway, they replied to me within a couple hours, and for the cost, they just had me pay for the cost of shipping and sent me a brand new tire, which is awesome. It was like $15 shipping. So basically they
they warrantied an out of warranty tire for me, and I thought that was really cool. So they get like extra points for that. So my overall thoughts on this tire. All right, so we're going past 20 minutes here, so let's wrap things up. I'm going to say 8 out of 10 from my humble opinion with these tires. Let's go with the pros. First off, the pros is the appearance. They're aesthetically fantastic. I love the way they look. Got plenty of compliments on them throughout the, couple months now I've been doing this video. I'd say the design is great for all mountain riding, all terrains. I haven't had any issues with traction or anything like that. I think they're well designed, well thought out. And I think the other big plus for these is the warranty. Just the customer service aspect of it. That's huge for me because I really try to shop, even around here for stuff not related to biking. I try to shop the mom and pop shops, like, local stuff, try to support my local businesses, or at least rider-owned businesses when it comes to biking, and stay away from like the big corporate stuff when I can. Obviously, I ride Trek stuff and all, but like I still like Trek. Anyway, so those are the pros. And they're also, I'd add to the pros. When they're properly inflated and the conditions are optimal, they're really, really fast, which is great. The cons, I'd say, with the sidewall issue, maybe the durability factor a little bit. If you're doing more intense riding, like I said, if you're doing anything close to enduro style stuff, I would probably go with the gravity casing, the double wall casing they have. I'm sure you wouldn't have the same problem I had. But for your run-of-the-mill average everyday cross-country rider doing all-season riding, they're totally fine. The hardness for me, again, it's not a traction issue. It's not it's when I'm riding the frozen trails, and there's a lot of trail chatter. I think that the trail chatter increases with a slightly harder tire. So that it's not a deal breaker either. I'm actually not even because of this, just because of my old man issues. I'm probably gonna pick up some carbon bars soon with a little bit of flex to them to hopefully suck up a little bit of that trail chatter too. But yeah, as far as like frozen winter riding, you definitely get some excessive trail chatter, which it's take it or leave it. If it gives you a little extra speed, then some people like that and you're okay with it. For me, I would prefer probably a softer rubber overall if I had my way with everything. Yeah, I think that's about it. I guess the big question du jour is if I had to, if they were just black tires, nothing fancy about the design, I was buying them for something other than just the looks, would I buy them as opposed to some of the other tires on the market? Probably not, just because I do like the softer rubbers, and just kind of the way they feel. They kind of dampen the ride a little bit, from just my humble opinion. But this is a couple months of riding. The freezing cold, I had no issues with like cracking or anything like that, even being in my garage. And we got down below zero a few nights here. And then I was out on the trail and I think the coldest I was out was a 6-degree day, 6-degree morning. So, I never had any structural issues as far as like the cold weather affecting them or anything like that. So that's a good thing. Rode through snow, mud, you name it, I rode it, and it's a good all around tire. So if you're into it for the looks, awesome. If you don't mind the harder rubber, awesome. All around, a decent tire, definitely a decent tire, and the customer service is fantastic. Actually, because of the customer service, I will recommend them and totally give them business, more business in the future. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Hope it was helpful, and y'all have a blessed day. Cheers.